After the Fresh Festival, I put Jam Master J's turntables in my trunk. And him and Jailel from Houdini.
Now Houdini's inside the joint.
Yeah, EMC, Jam Master J got in my car. Yeah, Tudo, Fiber. You either getting it or you're not getting it.
I think the disdain comes from they're not musically relevant anymore.
We some tastemakers, we gon' make them taste, yeah. Mixing all these flavors, they say how you make that. TMTv, they know how to break that. It's where my face at, outside where we make it at.
And the gentleman we got here tonight is what you would call a true legend, a true icon, a true pioneer. Before him, there wasn't a rap radio. Before him, there was no rap retail.
No, sir.
Before him, there was no rap anything in Atlanta.
So it's Christmas rapping at Rich's downtown.
You got a lot of imitators, but only one originator. So if you don't know who I'm talking about,
Let's help you out.
we're talking about none other than Mojo.
Yeah.
What the band is
Hand
here?
clap, hand clap.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to 89.3 for having me, man. I'm so honored to be here. People ask me that all the time, how did I get influenced? But actually, I was influenced by my father. My father was a World War II veteran, and he actually played in the Army band in World War II. He played clarinet and saxophone. All my influence came from my father, that is resting in peace. Real talk. I was section leader at Washington High School. I was the drum section leader, and at that time, we were the best band in the city.
I know that's right.
We were the best band in the city. A lot of these upcoming, these kids that's coming up now, they don't realize who started hip hop and how hip hop was started. But my influence was simple. It was Rapper's Delight. Pretty simple. Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang was the first rap song that went national, and Sugar Hill Gang was my inspiration. Then came Curtis Blow. Of course, me and Curtis Blow became real good friends, and it was the guys out of New York, man.
Okay, but were you rapping before? I'm gonna say before you even heard of them.
No, we didn't know what rap was in Atlanta. The closest thing we came to rap was probably Rudy Ray Moore.
Only because I'm on the road. Last night before, 24 robbers at my door.
Yeah.
Let one in, hit him in the head with a rolling pin.
Yeah, real talk.
I'm saying because all that came before there was a Sugar Hill Gang and this.
Right.
And people was doing this
Right.
for years as kids before there was a such thing as a rap.
That's right.
In other words, rap is spun from this. So that's why I want to know if you was rapping before then.
No, it was only Rudy Ray Moore.
You said,
Way down in the jungle deep.
the signifying monkey stepped on the big lion's feet.
Real talk, bro.
That's history, y'all.
Yeah, real talk.
That's history. So let me ask you this then: what spurred you on? Let's say you're rapping to go out and say, okay, I need to find a way somehow to make a record. What was the impetus for that?
When it came out, I was already, I was inspired to do rap, and like I say, once that came out, I grew up liking Batman. So my first song, I said, let me sit down and write a song, and the first song I sat down and wrote was Batman, Let Mojo Handle It. and we went and we recorded it at Haywood Studio.
Haywood,
what's up, boy? Yeah, we went and recorded it at Haywood Studio, and that's I just can't say, but I was really influenced by the New York rappers. Of course, when I started doing hip hop here in Atlanta, people from New York did not like the fact that I was doing hip hop here in Atlanta. Some people despised me actually for doing hip hop in Atlanta. You know, but I took the blows on that, and the rest is history.
But don't feel bad because New York hates everybody in the world but them.
Hey, I have to give all praise to my man Gino Jordan. May he rest in peace. Gino Jordan was the manager of the Sans Souci, and when I had a demo, and I took that demo down to the Sans Souci, to Gino Jordan, and he put everything together. And matter of fact, a lot of people don't know, but on Let Mojo Handle It, it was all live instruments, featuring Skin from the SOS band, and Amber from the band Brick played keyboards on that song.
Okay.
So that was my journey, getting the demo made. You know, and I look at it now, and you know how we got all this social media and this, that, and other. And I tell people, you know, my YouTube was my 2 legs, my 2 feet. You know, that was YouTube. Yeah. That was my YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right.
You actually had to go out and you had to get in people's face and say, "Hey, I'm here. This is me. This is what I'm trying to do." And that's what I did. And with Gino Jordan, and he gave me that shot. And because back then, you know, we had wax, so it's not like now where any Joe Blow can put out a song. You know,
right.
You know, you go and
That's
point.
an investment.
Yeah, you point and click and you done. You know, of course back then it was not like that because you had to get wax, so you had to have some people behind you that had a good investment. It was a process back then, man. You know, first of all, I did write the song. I wrote all the song, the music. I wrote the music and words to it. But it was a process. I mean, because you know, back in the day, you know, you had to get the band together, and you know, you went in the studio and you laid tracks. You know, you had to have a live drummer do his track. We had the bass player do his track, organ player do his track. We did the vocals, we did the party music. You know, matter of fact, we went through a track and the only thing we did was just say, "Hey ho, hey ho ho, hey," through the whole song. You know,
Hype track.
yeah, I like that, the hype track, the real talk. But yeah, that pretty much was the process. Of course, it's a lot different now, process than it was in 1982.
Okay. So now we've gone and recorded it. We've got somehow or another, we've made it to the mastering house. We made it to pressing plant. We got it pressed. We got record shipped back. Now we got to get it to the radio. Now we got to get it to the people that's going to say, "We ain't going to play. We don't do rap. Rap is a fad. This ain't no real music." What was the struggle like getting it on radio?
Well, to be honest, it was not a struggle because Gino Jordan that put my song out, he was managing the Sans Souci, and of course the Sans Souci had a live link from the radio station here in Atlanta, and so that was a pretty easy process for me at that time. The fact that the Sans Souci was already linked to the radio station here in Atlanta.
And that was
WLK.
So, in other words, y'all could just bogart your way. If the DJ was playing it in the booth, it could went on the air.
Went straight on the air. Real talk.
Wow.
Shout out to Dr. Feelgood and Keith Pollard. Rest in peace.
So in other words, like I say, for those that don't understand what we were just saying, on a live remote situation, They didn't have to ask the music director, program director, please play my record. They just went on and threw it up on the booth and like, it's on.
Pretty much, real talk.
Wish we could have got away with that.
Well, who you telling? You gonna bring that back one more time? It's crazy to kind of think about it because I was such a young cat back then. I used to do the little road shows too.
Oh yeah.
And, so, what even like? How did the? Once you start hearing it on the radio, when was that moment that you knew you went from just this guy from Washington High to now Mojo? What was that one little time, maybe in the street, at the gas station? What was that moment that you realized, like, I'm Mojo?
I'm handling it. Yeah. That's a good question because I was already popular in the city because I used to throw parties. King Ridge, Edifice, everybody. We used to throw parties. So I was pretty much already popular before I went on the air.
Right.
And for you to ask me that question, when did I know that I had accomplished what I was trying to accomplish as an artist? And it's basically the first time I heard my song on the radio.
What was that like? Because I think all of us except for Prez over here knows what it's like to actually be driving down the street or at the house listening to radio or something, and all of a sudden your song come on without your prompting for it to come on. You didn't call a request. You didn't put anything in it. We just all of a sudden, 1 minute you listening to SOS, the next minute Mojo's on. Whoa, that's my record. What was that like?
I can't say that's probably the most proudest moment, but of course I was a young man, 19, 20 years old. So it was like, this is for me. I mean, this was meant to happen,
Right.
And but I can say that is the time. And of course, my second song, Jump, Stomp, and Twist, went to A rotation on the air. And when I say everybody know what A rotation is, that means your song is gonna be played every 4 hours on the radio.
You can set your watch to it.
You can set your watch to it, and of course, Let Mojo Handle It was number 2 in Atlanta in record sales, and the number 1 song that was selling was Marvin Gaye's "Sexual Healer."
Wow.
So me and Marvin Gaye was running neck and neck in record sales in 1982.
In Atlanta.
Real talk.
That's crazy.
Real talk, bro.
That's crazy.
Real talk. And of course, Stomp and Twist, when it came out, Jump, Stomp, and Twist came out in 84. It was number 2 for like 4 weeks throughout the state of Georgia. And the only song that was number 1 was I Always Feel Like Somebody Watching Me.
Wow.
Real talk, bro. Yeah, but it did make A rotation. I live up the street from Egan Homes.
Oh yeah.
Egan Homes projects. I lived up the street from there, and they had a merry-go-round on their on the playground, and when us little kids would get on the merry-go-round, the big kids would come and they would spin us on that merry-go-round. Well, we couldn't get off. And, no, real talk.
But you was having fun.
Yeah, and so I never forget that one day when they were spinning us around, and I say, whoever spinning this merry-go-round, they mama got 3,000 mojos. And I was like, you got 3,000 mojos, and I never. It was fright. I mean, as a kid, it was a frightening moment. But I was just telling them, yeah, your mama got mojos, your daddy got mojos, and blah blah blah. And ever since that day, I got off that merry-go-round. older kids started saying Mojo, Mojo, and I probably about 10 years old, 19 years old.
What was your first paid show like? When you after you heard your song on the radio, what was like? Dude, was it ringing off the hook? Was like, man, we need you at this show. We need you at this show, or we need you at this place right here.
Well, that's a good question, man. Yeah, they did start ringing off the hook, but in 1982, rappers were not getting paid. Real talk, rappers was not getting paid. We would get, do shows, and we would get, couple $100, but it was
hot dog and a drink.
Yeah, hot dog and a drink.
Wow.
Real talk, because they didn't, and especially me being from Atlanta. Oh, yeah. I did do shows, but of course I was still at home with my parents, 18, 19 years old. Yeah, it was not like, it's nowhere near like it is now, but back then you just pretty much got a few dollars. I always tell people about the fact that when Run DMC came here and did the Fresh Festival, of course I opened for Run DMC when they first came to Atlanta twice, and when they did the Fresh Festival at the Omni in Atlanta, which is now State Farm, those guys didn't even have a limo. I took those guys home, me and MC Shadi, before he was MC Shadi. We took those guys to their hotel in our cars.
Let me stop it. I know he gonna go into this. Fresh Festival, not that talk about. Y'all, this Dr. Said in here.
We some tastemakers, we gon' make them
E-Rock and Diamond. Had y'all Bankhead bouncing. Mr. Mojo had y'all jump, stomp, and twist.
Real talk, baby.
That's where the dance crazy in Atlanta came from.
Edifice. And anybody from Atlanta knows that's the old Ashby Theater.
Yes, sir.
Back long time ago. That was actually the Ashby Theater was one of the only theaters in the city where blacks could go.
Oh,
Yeah, real talk.
On the street.
Real
On
talk.
the street. Yeah.
Ashby Theater was one of the few theaters that blacks could go to, and they remodeled it over the years, and I turned it into a disco lounge. I used to have parties there, and and at the parties we would just stomp. And then I figured out, I said, we stumping, because you know how fraternities, they do their stomps and they do their stomps. So we were just stumping, and then I said, hey, let's put a twist with it. So we did, that's how the dance came about, stomp and twist. I went to Memphis, and that's where I recorded that song at. It was in Memphis, at Ardent Studios.
Ain't that the Stack Studio?
Yes, that's where all Al Green, Barcades, everybody recorded at Ardent. All the black artists that was in Memphis at that time. Yeah, and I used William Brown III was my engineer on Jump, Stomp, and Twist, and he engineered all the Barcade songs. He engineered Al Green. Matter of fact, the guy that produced Jump, Stomp, and Twist was named Ruben Fairfax, and he was the bass player for Al Green.
That's dope.
So a lot of people. Jump, Stomp, and Twist. That's where we actually did that song. Was in Memphis under a lot of good people.
All right.
Black history, y'all.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
You act on the Fresh Fest.
And I think that was actually the first rap tour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All rap tour.
Yeah. So, like I said, who you remember who I was on that bill with you?
Well, actually, I was not. Cause once again, man, back then, we didn't get a lot of love. Being an Atlanta rapper, you did not get a lot of love, and I was not actually on the card for the Fresh Festival, but they brought me out, and so a big shout out to my man Casual Cal.
Yeah, man.
Casual Cal, man. Him and Ricky Walker. They was they was doing the Fresh Festival, and they brought it here to Atlanta. Of course, you know they did. You know they went on and did the Universal
Circus.
Yeah. But Casual Cal was a very, very good friend of mine, and he brought me out on stage for the Fresh Festival, and we had a lot of fun.
And you had to drive. I think you told me you put Jam Master Jay's turntables in your trunk and drove him.
Man, real talk, man. That's real talk, man. That's real talk, man. I had a '77 Firebird, and Shadi had a Cadillac. And of course, Rodney Terry, Cool Collar, he was good friends with Russell Simmons, and after the Fresh Festival, I put Jam Master Jay's turntables in my trunk, and him and Jailel from Houdini.
Now who did inside the joy?
Yeah, real talk. And so we had DMC and Jam Master Jay and Jailel. They got in my car.
That was a tight fit, a little.
Two-door, Firebird.
That's a little tight fit.
Yeah, tight fit, real talk. And I think Ron and them, they got in the car with Shadi, and we took them to their hotel from the Omni. Real talk. I mean, because that just goes to show you, you know, how far rap has come in Atlanta. You know, because we didn't get red carpet treatment.
So you brought up Peter Jones, better known as MC Shot D.
Yep.
You said he begged you to let him open for you or something in Montgomery? Mobile? Somewhere in Alabama? Give me that story.
well, a lot of y'all that may not know, but MC Shot D was a break dancer. He was in a break dancing group, and they group went to Montgomery with me to open for Nucleus. Wicked.
Yes, sir.
I went to Montgomery to open for them, and on the way down there, me and Shadi, we was on the bus, and we was just, you know, freestyling, rapping. And then when we got to Montgomery and we got in the Civic Center, Shadi asked me, he said, Mojo, man, let me come on stage with you, man. Put me down, man. Let me do. So on part of my act, on my performance, I called Shadi out on the stage, and I let him do his thing, and the rest is history for Shadi.
What was he like in the early days?
Oh, Shadi, Shadi, very quiet, very, very reserved individual. You know, very reserved, quiet.
And reserved.
and I think that's why Shy came in, because he was a very shy. You know, he wasn't just in your face type of guy.
Okay.
Shout out MC Shadi.
Well, I'm glad you told me where the shot came from, because I dang sure asked him one day, well, where did the D come from? Like, you ain't got a D nowhere in your name. Where did the D come from?
Yeah, but I mean, Shadi very reserved.
All right, tell us a little bit about your DJ, Cool Collie.
Cool Collie. Cool Collie. Actually, he was my DJ when I actually met Cool Collie when I opened for Run DMC at the Libra Ballroom. Yeah, hey.
See, I was going to ask you about the Libra and the Egyptian, but go ahead and tell us about the Libra Ballroom.
I don't know about the Egyptian, but I do know about the Libra. Yeah, the Libra Ballroom. That's why I first opened for Run DMC at the Libra Ballroom, and of course Cool Collie, Rodney Terry, he was in there. He was spinning the turntables, and I was impressed with him. And so he came aboard, man, and he asked, you know, hey man, you know, let me spin for you, let me be your DJ. So he did spin for me. We did a lot of work together, and a lot of people probably don't know, but the hit song that he did, that he wrote,
And I think
of you, Well, the beat to that song is Jump, Stomp, and Twist.
There you go.
And a lot of people don't know, but that is the sample. That beat is sampled from Jump, Stomp, and Twist. And
And you got you a goal for it.
and I got to go for So Dale, appreciate you.
Batman, let Mojo handle it. I think it got picked up by Frills.
Yes.
Did you know anything about that happening, or did it just one day a record just came out and said, "Hey, this is my record on Frills. What's going on?"
Well, being 18 or 19, man, 19, 20, you don't really think about the business aspect of the music business. You look at, hey, I'm here, you look at the fame, you look at the popularity, but you don't really look at the business part of the music. So, I mean, I really didn't know, and then they told me that Frills Records had picked it up, and y'all don't know who Frills Records is. That's who did the double Dutch bus coming down the street. So they picked that up, and they also had a group called Stolen Pleasures. So they did pick that. They did pick that. Let Mojo handle it up, and they put it up in the northeast part of the country.
Actually, I know when we first talked about that, you was like, I don't really know how to sell for it. And I said, son, it got picked up. Nobody picks up a flop.
Well, like I say, hey, we was neck and neck with Marvin Gaye on that song, as far as record sales. But people, I just want to say, man, people do not, these young guys, and young people that's coming up, like my girl V Coop and all the people, they're coming up, they don't understand, how difficult it was back in the early 80s to even get any type of recognition for doing hip hop in Atlanta. The special we did on VH1, Andre 3000 talked about how when Outkast first went to New York and did a show and they got booed, and that's just and trust me, that was how New Yorkers viewed me back in the early 80s.
I think personally, man, they felt like, for some reason, they felt like it was theirs. So since they thought it was theirs, they felt like nobody else can do their thing like they could do their thing. So for them, it was like they couldn't embrace versions of their thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, now to fast forward to now, I think the disdain comes from they're not relevant. They're not musically relevant anymore. And so they're upset. They're still kind of upset about other things in other markets only because they're not relevant anymore. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how much what we may do, for them it's going to always be, it's not original. It's not hip hop. It's not this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not from the Bronx, blood.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Son.
and it's like how we used to do, how we did, we embraced everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that, I think that's why people musically gets us. Because there's so much of different elements of music in our music.
Shout out to every rapper in Atlanta that has really made it from when I started to right now, Lil Nas and everybody that's booming. Hey, I took the blows for you guys, man. Real talk, man.
Yeah.
I took the blows, man.
With Mojo's Don't Go Astray.
Lord Jesus.
So let's speak on that, Mr. Mojo.
Oh man, that
Your church in here.
Oh.
we gonna talk some church. We gonna keep it even. Keep it.
Yeah.
What's the influences there for church other than your mama made you go?
Well, actually, it was my dad that made me go. Well, they didn't drug me. I didn't have a drug problem where they had to drug me to church, drag me to church. No, man, but actually giving a big shout out to Ralph David Abernathy, who was Dr. King's right-hand man. He actually baptized me in 1975.
Wow.
At the West Hunter Street Baptist Church. So I do have a lot. I did come up. That song, Don't Go Astray, man. You know, you really blow me away when you played it, because I didn't see that one coming. But that is that song is real dear to me. It's inspirational. You know, I call it inspirational, and I've always loved kids. I taught summer camp at John F. Kennedy for many years when I was a youngster, and I really care about our young kids. And I mean that sincere, and that's what inspired that song "Don't Go Astray." Was the fact that I was trying to send a message to our young folks. Simply, don't go astray.
What kind of advice could you give some of these young artists today?
Oh Lord, man, that was $1 million question. You know, I could tell them to stay focused. It's a totally different time than it was when I was doing music. Of course, when I was doing music, we could not use profanity. No songs that was made in the early 80s had profanity, and now we're at a point where there's no songs that don't have profanity.
Exactly.
You know, so that is a big thing, and I would like to say to all the guys, man, listen, man, try to keep it positive, and just know that, you know, you're gonna have to give an account for what you do and what you say on these songs. You know, I know it's about selling records, but what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? You know, and that's one of the reasons why I stepped back from the music business after the late 80s, because it started going in the gangster direction and the direction of profanity, and I could not make that transition. And so I just like to say to the young guys, man, you know, keep it positive. You know, I know you wanna get big in the music business. Also get a job. Get a job. You know, you either getting it or you're not getting it. You know, and you can't be in between. And that's just the way the music business is. You know, I got V Coop. You know, she's coming up artist. You know, and that's my advice. And it is so hard to make a living in the music business. It is really hard, and especially now with competition. There's a lot of competition out there now. A lot of people out there trying to get their songs played on the radio, but just like you said, Power, you know, if you're not getting it, you're not getting it. You know, you know what I mean. You know, you can say, well, I'm halfway getting it. Well, if you're halfway getting it, you're gonna miss a meal. Real talk. You know, you're gonna miss a meal if you're halfway getting it.
Any other people rapping that maybe you was like doing some shows with, or from the Atlanta area?
There were people around. Stanford Lightfoot. And Lightfoot actually just befriended me the other day. So we have been going back and forth. Lightfoot was around back then. Also, there was a guy named Reggio. His real name is Reginald Watkins, which is from Willie Watkins Funeral Home. Yeah, so Reginald Watkins, he was out rapping at the time.
How has it been? What's the feeling like to see all the love? Because like I said, you got more followers in 2 weeks than I got in 3 years. I feel that see all the outpouring of love. And
man, it's amazing, man. It's really amazing, and I still don't know how to work my way around Facebook. Cause I've always, man, I said, man, I do not want to be on Facebook. I see enough people. I don't want to socialize with nobody. I see enough people, but of course, you and Big Al, y'all encourage me to go on there, man. So every now and then I would post I would put a post and just say, hey man, I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate all y'all. I love you. You know. So it's a new phase, man. It's a new world, man, being on Facebook, man. It's a new world, but I really do appreciate the love from the ATL.